ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 9, Text 47. अथेष माया रचितेषु संगम गुणेषु गंधर्व पुरोपमेषु रूढं प्रकृत्यात्मनि विश्वकर्तुर् भावेन हित्वा तमहं प्रपद्ये. अतेष माया रचितेषु संगम गुणेषु गंधर्वपुरोपमेषु रूढं प्रकृत्यात्मनि विश्वकर्तुर् भावेन हित्वा तमहं प्रपद्ये. अतेष माया रचितेषु संगम गुणेषु गंधर्वपुरोपमेषु रूढं प्रकृत्यात्मनि विश्वकर्तुर् भावेन हित्वा तमहं प्रपद्ये. Atha, therefore, Isha Maya, by the external potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rachiteshu, in things manufactured, Sangam, attachment, Guneshu, in the modes of material nature, Gandharvapura Upameshu, which are compared to the illusion of a Gandharvapura, a town or houses seen in the forest or on a hill, Rudham, very powerful, Prakritya, by material nature, Atmani, onto the Supersoul, Vishwakartuhu, of the Creator of the whole universe, Bhavena, by devotional service, Hitva, giving up, Tam, unto Him, the Lord, Aham, I, Prapadye, surrender. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhajacharana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Therefore, I should now give up my attachment for things created by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I should engage in thought of the Lord and should thus surrender unto Him. This material creation, having been created by the external energy of the Lord, is like an imaginary town visualized on a hill or in a forest. Every conditioned soul has a natural attraction and attachment for material things. But one must simply give up this attachment and surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please repeat the translation. Therefore, I should now give up my attachment for things created by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I should engage in the thought of the Lord and thus surrender unto Him. This material creation, having been created by the external energy of the Lord, is like an imaginary town visualized on a hill or in a forest. Every conditioned soul has a natural attraction and attachment for material things, but one must simply give up this attachment and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. When passing through a mountainous region in an airplane, one may sometimes see a city in the sky with towers and palaces. Or one may see similar things in a big forest. This is called a Gandharvapura, a phantasmagoria. This entire world resembles such a phantasmagoria, and every materially situated person has attachment for it. But Katvanga Maharaj, because of his advanced Krishna consciousness, was not interested in such things. Even though a devotee may engage in apparently materialistic activities, he knows his position very well. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. If one engages all material things in relation with the loving service of the Lord, one is situated in Yukta Vairagya, proper renunciation. In this material world, nothing should be accepted for one's sense gratification. Everything should be accepted for the service of the Lord. This is the mentality of the spiritual world. Maharaja Katvanga advises that one give up material attachments and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus one achieves success in life. This is pure Bhakti Yoga, which involves Vairagya Vidya, renunciation and knowledge. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartameka Purusha Puranaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradhari Kripam Buddhiryastamaham Prapadye. Let me surrender unto the personality of Godhead, who has appeared now as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the ocean of all mercy and has come down to teach us material detachment, learning and devotional service to Himself. Chaitanya Chandrodaya, Nataka 6.74. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated this movement of Vairagya Vidya, by which one detaches himself from material existence and engages in loving devotional service. The Krishna consciousness movement of devotional service is the only process by which to counteract our false prestige in this material world. Thus ends the Bhakti purport and translation to Canto 9, Chapter 9, Text 47 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is a verse spoken by Katvanga Maharaj, wherein he is saying that I should now give up my attachment for things created by the external energy of the Supreme Lord. Then what is the alternate engagement? I should engage in the thought of the Lord and thus surrender unto Him. Now why should I give up attachment for material things? The reasoning is, he is saying, what is created by the material energy or the Maya energy of the Lord, as the very word indicates, Maya energy of the Lord, is an imaginary town visualized on a hill or in a forest. So it is not real. So whatever is created in this world is more or less illusory. It doesn't have real substance. Material energy is true, but what we make out of that material energy in our mind, in our perception, is false. Just like earth, water, fire, air, ether, these material elements created by the Lord, or the 24 elements, they are true elements. So we don't endorse the Mayavadi's view who say that everything is false. Jagat Mithya. This is not in that sense what is being spoken by Maharaja Katvanga, that everything is false. But the combination of those things, of the material elements, by which we think that this particular combination or configuration gives me happiness, this particular configuration or combination of material things gives me sadness, that is illusory. Just like I think, just like there is brick, there is cement. Krishna Balaram Gaurnitai ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. A combination of this brick and cement made into a form of a building or a villa or an apartment or some kind of place for one's business or entertainment gives me happiness, and another configuration of the same brick cement does not give me happiness. That means what? Suppose the same brick and cement, you make it in the form of a nice villa, very posh apartment, you feel very nice to stay there. So much interiors people spend, right? But then if you go to a poor man's house, it's not very interesting to spend time there. So that is illusion. So one particular building gives you joy, one particular building does not give you joy. This is illusion. Both are Panchabhuta. But you have made up in your mind this particular configuration, that particular configuration gives me happiness, gives me distress. Same thing with every material situation we encounter in life. This particular relationship, this particular situation gives me happiness. This particular situation, if it is like this, gives me displeasure, unhappiness. I have created all those happiness and distressful situations. So, Maharaja Katvanga has given an example like an imaginary town visualized on a hill or in a forest. But every conditioned soul has natural attachment for material things. So one may say, okay, I understand, philosophically I understand, these things are false, I should not have any attachment. But I have difficulty in giving up. A similar scenario faced by Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna said, Krishna, okay, you say that everybody is spirit soul, not their bodies. So therefore killing all of them is not equivalent to killing them actually, because the soul is never killable. Yet, if I see right in front of me, if I see my own relatives and friends assembled, how can I develop the courage to kill them? Krishna said, tolerate and do your duty. Tolerate and do your duty. Exactly like that, if somebody says, okay, I understand Prabhu, these are all false, this attachment, attraction, this is all very, very, silly, very petty attachments. Okay, I understand philosophically. Practically, I am not able to give up my attachment to this world, to relationships, to my goals. Bharata Katwang is saying, one must simply give up this attachment, not analyze too much. Therefore, there is what is called as duty. Either you are able to follow the principles given in the scriptures for your own good, or if you have difficulty in following, naturally, as a matter of duty, you must execute it, whether you like it or not. And that is the principle. Then once you take it up as a matter of duty and execute it, there will be progress and advancement. That's why in the stages of bhakti also, as given by Rupa Goswami, if we see, Adav Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nivritti Nishta Ruchi. So before we come to the point of attraction and attachment to spiritual things, we have to give up attraction, attachment to material things. So if we are comfortably situated in devotional service, it will not be very difficult. But if we have difficulty, we should endure that difficulty and give up attachment to material things as a matter of duty. And slowly, as we engage in devotional service, there is purification, then there is attraction and attachment to Krishna, Ruchi and Asakti. So presently we don't have that taste for spiritual things because the material tastes have overwhelmed the conditioned soul. So that has to come down, subside. Then only you can develop attraction and attachment to spiritual things. So only by devotional service this is possible. The last statement made by Prabhupada is very significant. The Krishna consciousness movement of devotional service is the only process by which we can to counteract our false prestige in this material world. And one statement before Prabhupada says, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated this movement of Vairagya Vidya by which one detaches himself from material existence and engages in loving devotional service. So parallelly we are detaching and also attaching ourselves to devotional process. See, these Mayavadis, they have this one-sided process called Neti, Marga. Give up, give up, give up. Give up attachment to material things, give up material activities. Then what is the alternate engagement? They don't have any alternate engagement. Therefore they fail. So that's why they'll come back to material activities once again. The soul is by nature active and it cannot be inactive at any point of time. So when you give up material activity, there must be an engagement. There must be spiritual activity. Otherwise, you cannot remain in a state of inactivity, as Krishna describes in the 3rd chapter of the Gita also. Na prasiddhyet akarmanaha. You can never be inactive. In fact, Krishna says that even to maintain one's body, one has to act. So one has to be active, cannot be inactive. So we have the positive activity of devotional service. Prabhupada's famous example of a small child. Suppose the child is engaged in all naughty activities. Now you cannot stop the child from these naughty activities unless you give a good engagement for the child. Vittal, don't do this, don't do that. Sit quiet. Child cannot sit quiet. It runs around here and there. Sit down here. It's very difficult. So you have to give an alternate engagement for the child. Give some activity to the child. Once it is busy, it is comfortable. So like that, the Mayavadi's way of detaching ourselves from this world is very impractical, and it will not prove successful. It will prove a failure. It will prove disastrous. Especially because we are spirit soul. We require activity. So the real activity is devotional service. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's methodology is Vairagya Vidya. So Prabhupada says here, material detachment, learning and devotional service to Krishna. 3 things. So we detach from this world and then we learn positively what is devotional service and engage ourselves in devotional service. Now, this is a realization shared by Katvanga Maharaj to all of us. This will take years and years and thousands of years. He is a pure devotee of the Lord. In essence, he is giving his realization of why to give up attachment to material things. Because they are illusory. Now, our fear of detachment is what? What is our fear in detaching? The greatest challenge for devotees is detachment, even for devotees and even for non-devotees. We don't want to give up our attachment to things. Why? Because there's a fear of what next. If I give up this, what is the alternate? Suppose I'm staying in a house and then the owner suddenly comes and says, now you get out from here. Not vacate. Vacate means 1 month notice is there. You say instant, no, you get out from here. Look, where am I going to go? Prabhupada explains that in one lecture. It's a great fear. Actually, death is like that. There's no notice period. 1 month notice. Like in Mangalore, we are shifting our temple from one building to another building. So notice period. I just wrote a mail yesterday to the owner. So we are now moving to another house. So kindly be informed. So he is also informed, and we are also preparing ourselves. So Prabhupada says, death is not like that. Immediately it will come and tell you, get out from here, from this body. Where are you going to go? Suppose the owner comes and throws off all your items. It happens sometimes for those who default their payments. Just bring some people, 4 or 5 people, throw out all your items because you defaulted. Or suddenly if it comes and tells, please move out of this house, where will you go? The fear element is there. So that is the primary cause of we not detaching ourselves from anything. Be it food, be it stay, be it activity, be it anything. Our attraction or attachment to all material things is based on our security. Oh, I have all these things with me. I have my bank balance, my family, my children, my society, my neighbors, they're all there. So I'm in a comfortable zone. So Bhagavatam says, Asat Sainyeshu. These are all Asat Sainya. We are thinking that they're all there for me. But that's not at all true. When death comes, anybody is there with us? Actually, nobody is there with us when death comes. Anyway, so the point is, so the fear of what is the alternative? Okay, if I'm not in this house, where is the house? See, the program is over, you'll all go back home. You have your home. We have arrangement for food. Program is over. Either for temple devotees, we have prasadam, somebody has cooked. And then as far as others are concerned, your wife or somebody, you have made arrangement for your food. Then you have to spend from your pocket, you have credit card, some card you have. You have your bank balance, you're secure. For security, you have your neighbors, you have a system of police. So things are all set. Whenever things are not set, when the things are unsettled, there is fear. So therefore, the fundamental reason of we not detaching ourselves is our security. Everything is well set now. Don't unsettle. So there is a fear of unsettlement. So we will not give up. So spiritual life people think is a unsettlement. Big unsettlement. Wholesale unsettlement. Imagine simultaneously you are out of the house. Bank is diwala. Everything simultaneously if it comes. Imagine how can you take? One anxiety only is difficult to take. If all anxieties come together, how can you tolerate? Suppose death happens. Somebody cheated you in your business or whatever. The bank is bankrupt. And your friends have, misled you. Everything like that. You are sick. In a serious condition. So everything comes upon you. Imagine how you can take it. So generally people will not detach. Not easy. Because they don't have alternate life or understanding. They are not rather blessed with that understanding. So we are blessed here. We have an alternate. We have an alternate. If not bhoga, we have prasadam. If not material assets, we have spiritual assets. See, we are living in Krishna's temple. Even your house, if you place Krishna in your altar, then that is Krishna's gift for you. The material assets, material things will convert itself to spiritual assets by the conversion factor of adding Krishna consciousness into your life. Everything becomes spiritualized. Nothing is snatched away from you. Everything can be possessed, but in the name of Krishna. Krishna as the owner of everything. No problem. You are allowed to enjoy. Enjoyment is not denied. Satchid Ananda. Ananda is one of the natural instincts of the soul. People's fear is we are losing everything. I am a big loser. Detachment means people think I am a big loser. No. If the detachment is for Krishna, gaining Krishna, I am a big gainer. Param drishtva nivartate. In the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Lord Krishna describes that we give up lower things to achieve higher things. You see, detachment is from giving up our petty attachment to material things, which Krishna has described in the Bhagavad Gita as inferior creation. Then what is the difficulty? This realization must be there. What is that? Material things are inferior by nature. If you don't appreciate this, don't have this fundamental understanding, you can never give up the moha or attachment to material things. Similarly, if you don't understand material things are temporary, it appears to be factual and eternal. It is temporary, although it appears to be eternal. It is unreal, although it appears to be factual. That is why it's called Gandharva Pura. Unless you have this realization, detachment is very difficult theoretically. Prabhupada says, just like small child, sometimes children they keep licking the thumb. It's a very petty thing. Or anything it gets, it will put in the mouth. So if you want to stop the child, you have to give a better engagement. You have to give a chocolate or something better. So like that, if you have to give up attraction or attachment to lower things, called the inferior creation, you should have experience of higher things. So, para prakriti and apara prakriti. So, this is apara prakriti. So, there is an alternate. There is a para prakriti. Then there is no fear. So, if not bhoga, I have prasadam. So, if not material world, I have a whole spiritual world for my existence, for my living. I am giving up material relationships which are temporary, illusory and transient, painful. You can, without prejudice, you can analyze all material relationships. Everything is very calculated relationships. Every relation is based on some selfish motive, materially. Some give and take. I am benefiting something. But in spiritual relationship, it's completely different. It's life of sacrifice. It's seeking pleasure for the other party, and primarily Krishna, and from Krishna through to every other jiva also. First we develop our love towards our relationship towards Krishna. After developing our relationship towards Krishna, we develop relationship towards every jiva also. So you don't lack relationships in the spiritual world. The Bhagavatam it is described. There are eternal relationships in the spiritual world. There's a chapter called the Description of the Kingdom of God in the second canto. It's a very nice chapter, where it is described that there are husbands and wives in the Vaikuntha, and they are traveling in spiritual spacecrafts happily, singing the glories of the Lord. There is also a description that there are beautiful women in the spiritual world who are very attractive, but they are not attracted by anything other than Krishna. So, in terms of coming back to relationship, our another primary fear is, I have to give up all relationship. We are giving up lower relationships for higher relationships. In essence, we are not away from relationship. Soul cannot be away from relationship. Soul must possess relationships. Otherwise, there is insecurity. So, the first relationship is with God, Krishna. Then every relationship comes. Prabhupada says, just like, suppose in a house, like we were 4 of us. I was the last. I have an elder brother. I have 2 elder sisters. Now, we are all, in a normal discussion sense, expression, we say, I have 1 brother, 2 sisters, I am saying, right? Now, what about everybody else? The other, human population. They are also brothers and sisters. I may say that, but in my heart, I feel this my blood relations, right? That comes because father is common. There are brothers and sisters everywhere. But why my own brother, my own sister, that feeling, sense of that, my own, that sense of that feeling, it is because father is common. Then others, brothers and sisters, their father and mother is somebody else. So that means that feeling of mine comes when the father is common. Similarly, when we realize and recognize the single supreme father of everybody created, Sarva Yonishu Kauntaya Murtaya Sambhavantaya, Aham Bija Pradapita, Krishna says, you recognize that Krishna is the single seed-giving father of every living entity in the creation. Then there is universal brotherhood, as Prabhupada always had been talking about. It's very famous to talk about universal brotherhood. A lot of such attempts are being made for universal brotherhood. But it's very difficult unless you recognize the supreme fatherhood of God or Krishna. Universal brotherhood is very difficult to attain. So the point is, when you recognize Krishna, the supreme father, then everybody comes under one family scientifically, objectively, not sentimentally. So with this understanding, you will see the whole world as one family and Krishna being the supreme father. So then you don't lose relationship. Either in material world or in spiritual world. You see everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. So everybody is related. But the first relationship or awakening of relationship is first between the jiva and Krishna. Then the other relationships with other jivas are awakened. So we don't lose relationships. So like this, if we go on analyzing one after the other, there is no fear. Then only detachment we will give up. So that's why these acharyas like Maharaja Katvanga, the great devotees, have to tell us, don't worry, there's an alternate engagement and you will be given. Not that when something is taken from you, it is taken for good. Something better will be given to you. Just like a father will take you away from comfort zone, tell you don't play. Or they may take away something from you which is not good for you, or which is a kind of block for your progress. Suppose you are studying for an exam, you are busy with playing something, they may take away that toy or that computer game or that mobile from you to give you a better opportunity. Otherwise, you will miserably fail in the exam. That had been the cause of your downfall, of you not giving your completeness. So therefore it will be taken away. But it is to give you something better, a better life. So detachment, either we practice or we pray to the Lord, if I don't have strength, Krishna, please make me detach. Like Kunti Maharani prayed in her praise to Krishna. Forget the verse. Snehapashim imam chindi dridam pandushu vrishnishu. So of course Kunti Maharani is a pure devotee. She has no such bodily concept of woman and men, man and woman. Therefore she is saying, Krishna, as a woman, my problem is double than the man, more pronounced. The kind of attachment and illusion is double, because I have connection to two families, my mother's side and my husband's side. So now I have to detach from both the families. Of course, in her case it was still different. Both were devotee families. That was a difference, and that's a very interesting thing. That's a different thing. But to set an example for us, she is saying, so I have to detach from two sides. So please give me the strength to detach. So either we have the strength, devotional strength to practice, or we pray to Krishna to give us sufficient strength for detachment. And because we are not advanced in devotional service, theoretically we may hear Bhagavatam, it may be difficult. So therefore we should also know, believe and trust Krishna will give a better alternative. When you give up something for Krishna, for devotional service, for Prabhupada, for the movement, Krishna will always have something better for you. See, we are two small children. Krishna knows what is our capability and capacity. If Krishna has taken away something from you, we should not be upset or morose. But this we have to practice. For that you should develop faith. No, Krishna will never let me down. Krishna will have the best plan and program for me. Just like a parent. See, we all have that experience, right? Our parents. Whatever they do, okay, heart of heart we have that faith. Okay, they will do the best for me. Same thing in Krishna consciousness movement. Either it's Prabhupada or Krishna or Prabhupada, or our spiritual authorities, as Prabhupada made the system, that faith we have to develop. They will do the best for me. They will do the best for me. Otherwise, sometimes we think, okay, only Prabhupada, Krishna, but whether Prabhupada is hearing me or not. So that is a faith we have to develop. Prabhupada, also the Prabhupada means my disciples also. So and Prabhupada made a system which is completely transcendental. Whatever the Acharya has formulated also is transcendental. Not only Acharya is transcendental, Acharya's organization called ISKCON is also transcendental. It's also transcendental. So whatever system of management Acharya has put in is also transcendental. How it is material? This is called the conversion factor of Krishna consciousness. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. So when everything is done for Krishna, it becomes completely spiritual. So we have the faith that this is what Prabhupada and Krishna wants. So they will always give me the best. So that faith we have to develop. And let go small things. There are see, we should not let go Krishna consciousness in our life. Detachment means detachment from material things, material attachments, not from spiritual things, not from japa and devotional service. Don't detach from devotional service. Okay, you said detachment, Prabhu. I'm detaching myself from this service. Give me another service. So we don't choose detachment from devotional service. No. We detach from material things. Any service is transcendental and equally purifying and equally satisfying to Krishna. The thing is, if we still continue to stick on to petty things, we will not get deeper realizations in Krishna consciousness, higher realizations in Krishna consciousness. So we have to, even in Krishna consciousness, we should be prepared to, even in devotional service, different levels are there. Unless we give up lower form of devotional service, lower quality of devotional service to higher quality of devotional service, will not progress. Just like if you are attached and stuck to first standard lessons, okay, no doubt that's good, but you have to go forward to next lesson. Just like, I will conclude with this last point. Sometimes we may think, I'm already doing nice in Krishna consciousness, but still Prabhu is not so satisfied. No, 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 that is a wrong understanding. Just like my mother is happy when she heard now I think March exams is coming. After that, results will be declared. Whichever class, not first standard, fifth standard, 10th standard, undergraduate degree, whatever. So once you complete the degree, you get the result. You are very happy, parents are very happy. You are passed, first class distinction, good. Then again the parents will say, okay, what next? Huh? I passed, again they saying what next? Again they dissatisfied? No. The idea is they wanted even more better future for you. So why don't you think like that? Practically it is a reality. Similarly, if at all we think, okay, I am doing so much in Krishna kindness, but still, if some expectation is there, why don't you think scientifically and objectively like this? Okay, Krishna wants more from me. Prabhupada wants more from me. My spiritual authorities want more from me. Then you are in a positive spiral. You will not become depressed and unhappy and dissatisfied. So, Krishna has given an opportunity that I grow further to my next stage, a level of devotional service. And there is no end to that. You can see Acharyas like Maharaja Katvanga, Parikshit Maharaj, so much detachment they have developed. For us, it's all very, very small things. So, therefore, we should not develop detachment from Krishna consciousness, detachment from devotee association. No, these are wrong principles of detachment. And even sometimes detachment from material things. So, this is Maya, even in Krishna consciousness. There is another Maya with attachment in Krishna consciousness in terms of if I don't have this, then I cannot perform my Krishna consciousness to my fullness. No. Ahaituki apratihata. Krishna consciousness has nothing to do with any material arrangement. I don't have a certain facility. Doesn't matter. Prabhupada started from a kutira. That's why in Mayapur somebody asked Prabhupada, you build this big temple, then still you are keeping that cottage? Prabhupada said, my disciples must know from where it all began. So, it is not that if I don't have a certain facility, I cannot preach Krishna consciousness. That is not at all true. You can chant Hare Krishna, you can call somebody, meet somebody, preach to them. How are you being stopped? From giving your contribution to the movement, how are we stopped? We are not stopped. So, the real attachment is spiritual, and that opportunity is always there. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.